Hey guys, Poverty Point Customs here. This is my St. Croix pellet stove. It's the model Prescott, and it's almost August of 2018, and the last time that this has ran was in, I believe, early to the middle of May, so a few months. What I like to do with my pellet stove is run it a couple times in between the winter season just to make sure everything's working fine. So the next step to do is it's plugged in. That's a carbon monoxide detector. And we're going to turn it on. So you hear the fan going right now. So that's taking all the air inside the stove and flushing it out with fresh air. And you can see now that it's dropping the pellets in. Peek inside to make sure there's enough pellets there to run it for a few minutes. Alright, so it's been about a minute and we can see we're starting to get a lot of smoke in there. Means the igniter's still working. Just give that a second, see if we get a flame. Usually smokes for about 30 seconds before it actually ignites. And there we go. And let's take a look outside. And this is looking outside through the window. You initially get a little bit of a puff of smoke when it's venting out the smoke from the pellet stove when it first starts. See, I have a nice flame there. Usually when it first starts you get quite a large flame because there's a lot of pellets in the tray there from the initial startup, but once it's going, that flame will be about half the size as right now. It's just on a low setting. What I do now is just wait for about 5 minutes for the stove to warm up and the fan actually clicks on, and then I'll run it for a few minutes and then I'll turn it off, and then I'll again do this in September. That way it keeps everything from seizing up and keeps the chimney nice and clear from any spiders and whatnot that may decide to make a little nest inside it. So just showing my chimney on the outside of the house. So you can just barely hear it blowing out right now. You can tell there's not much smoke coming out, which is good. One thing to always do at the bottom, there is a clean out. You just take out a screw on each side, the bottom pulls out, and then you can clean out the chimney. And what I always like to do too is you have your pipe that goes through your wall that connects to your wood stove. You always want to make sure that that's not building up with creosote and whatnot too. So a trick that I usually do is take one of the toilet unclogger tools and shove it through there, spin it, breaks up any debris inside there, and you can usually hook up a vacuum and bend it to get in there to clean it out. Anyways guys, just a couple little tips, and again just doing my midsummer test of the stove.